awards, and more, where recognition is rewarding.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2025 Acura RDX, $399 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slomin Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Slomin Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slomin Shield.
The lost city of Atlantis reveals its secrets at Toyota of Hollywood. Get legendary deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a 2024 Corolla. Not $24,000, $20,988. Unlock the wonders of 0% financing for 5 full years, 0 down. Rediscover Atlantis at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rome. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rome can help.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls. How you feeling? You feeling good? I'm feeling good. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling good. Crypto market is bouncing back. Caspa is tearing some ass this morning. It's a beautiful day. Where's Kyle Cockrell? He must be like, he must be one happy camper. Not really, actually. Kyle really isn't pumped today. It's just like a small little bit of news. It's only good news for people like me that are newbies in it. A guy like Kyle is probably like, yeah, I've seen this before. This is not a big deal for me. Anyway, welcome aboard. Time to have some fun on the show. We got some stuff to talk about. We got people to talk to. David Furones is going to join us. Dolphins getting ready for the offseason, so we'll talk about that. There's a bunch of stuff. I watched the Heat last night till late night. And rough one last night, but it was good. It's good. These things are really, really good for all these young guys. I'm just, it's actually not a bad thing. But I watched it was a painful game to watch because of the turnovers. I watched, obviously, the football game last night. And Sam Darnold is Sam Darnold. There was like some imposter throughout the year. And I know what the imposter was doing. It's because Sean Stanley picked up Sam Darnold. And so Sam knew that if he didn't perform for Sean Stanley, well, then, there's going to be a full Nelson. There's going to be some shit that you're going to pay the price. So Sam Darnold had to perform during the regular season to help out Sean Stanley. But now that, he doesn't have to help out Sean anymore, he's on his own, no pressure, the real pressure set in. So I think that's what happened, right? He kicked ass for you this year, didn't he, Sean? I mean, shit.
Yes, he did. He did. And then we had our Super Bowl, and Sam Darnold.
Did you, by the way, you got to the Super Bowl and everything?
No, I got to the third and no. In one, I got to third and fourth. The one with Sam Darnold, no, I got to eighth place in that one.
Eighth place? Wow.
Yeah, it's like a 16. There's 16. It's a huge league.
All right.
Just a BS. We have a great time. It's with the Lemon City Live guys.
Oh, okay, that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Bunch of
All right. I love those guys. All right, cool. Those are good dudes. Miss those guys. Love working with them. I wish all that shit would have worked out. Anyway, yes, sir?
No, I had Darnold and Tua. Those are my quarterbacks.
Yeah. Well, Sam Darnold last night turned into Sam Darnold last night. Like the guy you saw during the regular season, it's amazing. That man lost so much money yesterday. Because there were teams that were probably going to say, hey, man, this guy's turned the corner. Let's go get him. We need a quarterback. This is a quarterback desperate league, all of this. And you got to give O'Connell a lot of credit because he goes and gets Daniel Jones, even though he has the rookie. And, there's that moment, I put it out on Twitter where, they won that big game and he comes into the locker room and they're all celebrating, right? And what I did was, if you go to my Twitter page, I put that out there. And then there's an old song. And again, this is my fault here. Sometimes, I know music, but I can't really I know stuff in that goes on in life and, pop culture, new, old, all that kind of stuff. I try to keep up with as much as I can, but I couldn't think of anything else except the song "The Way We Were." So I tweeted out, the spot where he's coming into the locker room, because I don't think I can get hit for this, right? So he comes in the locker room where they're celebrating and loving him and all that kind of stuff, and I just put the lyrics from "The Way We Were." Memories like the corners of my mind, misty watercolored memories of the way we were. Anyway, so because it just kind of, that's what it was at that moment last night. That champagne celebration with Darnold was distant memories that were only a couple weeks ago. Everybody's talking about how do you now re-sign the guy after that? Right there, the team is galvanizing behind him. Well, what do you say about last night? There's no galvanizing. It's freaking Teflon. Nothing sticks to it. You're gone, bro. Slide right off. You're done. That's what's going on. Sam Darnold lost money. He lost everything that he gained this year. Daniel Jones was sitting in his house laughing his ass off, going, yeah, baby, now all I got to do is beat out the Rook. A Rook coming back from an injury. Daniel Jones is a starter next year for the Minnesota Vikings. And Sam Darnold will now have to take probably 10, 15 million less a year. He went from getting 40 to 50 to 30, 25. That was bad last night for him. Everything that could possibly have gone wrong for Sam Darnold. He started seeing ghosts again. That's basically what he was doing. Everything he had gained, he lost it all in one night. In one night, everybody goes, oh, wait a minute, that's Sam Darnold. The other guy was an imposter. The other guy was I don't know, maybe it was AI. Maybe it was what was that? What's that thing they did with Tupac? A hologram. It wasn't real what we saw out there. Sam Darnold, my Lord. Daniel Jones wins. Vikings win, by the way. They don't have to pay him. They don't have, that decision is made now for them. Now they don't have to go into the offseason going, all right, do we sign this guy? Because we know that Daniel Jones may not be the guy, and we still have a rookie that's untested. Sam had a hell of a year for us. He was great in the playoffs. Do we just let him walk? Now, he sucked last night, and you can go, yeah, this was coaching in our team and everything that kind of gave him that. We could do that for other quarterbacks. Yeah, it's interchangeable. Let's move on from him. Now, you don't have to worry about it as a franchise. Did we screw up? Is he now Rich Gannon from here on out that he found his way? Maybe not. So now you can let him go. So it's actually a good thing for the Vikings because it kind of cleanses them from that responsibility, that burden, that concern, the questioning of it. What do we do? Do we stay with Sam Darnold? Do we move forward with the rookie? Do we try to, reshape Daniel Jones' career? All of that kind of stuff. Now you're going to Daniel Jones and what is it? JJ McCarthy, right? Is the kid's name, right? JJ McCarthy. And that's where you're going now. So that's what happened last night. There was closure for the Minnesota Vikings, and there was just absolute horror for Sam Darnold now. And any team that was interested in Sam Darnold, there are now lesser teams interested, and now he will not be part of that first wave of quarterbacks that people desperately want. He might be in the second wave now because, again, he's back to being Sam Darnold. So, yeah, a lot of shit was lost last night for Sam Darnold. He lost a lot of money. I mean, that's not good. Not good. Anyway, although I will say this, and by the way, wow, I went with the Vikings. That was bad by me. Good for the Rams, and good for the city of LA and Los Angelinos, as they like to call themselves. They kind of, it's not like this is going to help, but a little distraction for some people that might be sports fans, and that's a small portion, but at least they got to see something last night to keep their minds off of it a little bit. Remember, it's only a fraction of people. But, yeah, at least that you felt good for that, that you definitely felt good for them in that sense. So, yeah, Rams got it done last night, 27-9. That was pretty cool. That was very cool. What do we got going on, by the way? What's the latest with Bitcoin? We are at 96.3. We already hit 97. So we are making our way back, which is a beautiful thing, baby. One-Eyed Jack is number one, and he's smashing the like button. Please smash the like button. Don't forget that you can visit our amazing sponsors like Toyota of Hollywood. That's a great way to support our show. And make sure you tell them that, Toyota Hollywood, hey, saw it on the Big O show, that kind of stuff. So they'll take care of you. And whether you go to Caneswear, whether you call Welt and Rayom, it doesn't matter, folks. Any of our amazing sponsors, please. R&M Contractors, if you're looking to redo your home, your kitchen, bathroom, condominium, all of that, please call our sponsors. That's how we do it. And, of course, you can also make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, which we love that with the Bitcoin and Ethereum donations. Ho Yoon, thank you, sir. Appreciate you on the Venmo. Very nice of you. He says, have a great week, Big O. Thank you, Ho Yoon, for your constant support every single week on the show, sometimes multiple times a week. I appreciate that, Ho Yoon. Very nice of you, sir. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can use the QR codes, and you can also make a donation through PayPal because from what I understand, some people out of the country can't use Cash App or Venmo, so you can use PayPal. All right. Good stuff there. I will do 3 shows today, actually, but 2 crypto shows is what I was going to say. I'm going to do a general crypto show, and then I'm going to do another one that's going to be focused on just one crypto specifically. It's pumping like crazy today, but I've already talked about it on the show, but I want to kind of delve into it. So I'm going to do different things like that. So we'll do a couple of them today. So a lot of work today on the platform, especially for you crypto folks. If you like the crypto content, it is coming your way. Took the Monday off. I'm not big on sitting there trying to walk you off the ledge. You know what I mean? Like if I got to walk you off the ledge, you're in the wrong. You're in the wrong, thing. You're not a real investor that's thinking long term. And that's why, look at it, we're almost at 97. So if you got it at 91 or 92 or 93, you're already making profits. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the way it goes. And you got to take advantage of those dips. But I'm not big on having to constantly convince you of that. You shouldn't need it if you did your homework. that kind of stuff. So we'll be back on today doing our thing, and we'll do it throughout the week, all the way through Friday. We'll give you a show every day, pretty much. Jamie Zoria smashing it. Thank you out in San Jose. Oscar Rojas is out in Melbourne. Ohio John, Aquavision, Trina Mills, Sam Darnold, no. Dolphin Dave, Stetson O, Oscar Rojas, Todd Victor, Chris Brooks. Todd, it's old, bro. That's an old subject. I can't answer. Look, I understand that we're at a point where it's you guys need to air your grievances, and there's a shitload of them. You know what I'm saying? Whether you didn't pay attention to the guards, you didn't get a backup quarterback, you didn't coach the team well, you didn't keep Chris Brooks, you didn't keep Matt Collins. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. You didn't even use Jonnu Smith the first month of the season after, thoroughly using him throughout the offseason and training camp and the preseason, and like displaying like, okay, yeah, we're gonna include the tight end in the offense in the first month. The guy just completely, the goof that he is, just forgets it. There's a lot of grievances, folks. There's a lot of them. Tua, the stupidity of Tua, thinking that he can just, take on contact. Dumbass. There's a lot of grievances. But as I've told you now, time to move on, dude. You don't like Chris Greer. You don't like Marvin Allen. You don't like Reggie McKenzie. You don't like Mike McDaniel. You don't like Tua. You don't like Ross. They're all here, dude. So I get it. Grievances are just going to continue to be aired, and you're all frustrated, and so am I. You think I want Mike McDaniel here? No, not at all. I think Mike McDaniel is incredibly incompetent. I think he proves it every single week. But we're stuck with him. Danny Crossman. It took him 3 fucking years to get rid of Danny Crossman. It's like, really? Did you need that long? No, but you had to take so long to get rid of Danny Crossman. Grievances are, Brooklyn Rob, Mr. Suey, by the way, who's killing it with Suey. He sends me a DM. 30 years of misery. How did we get here? I started rooting for the team back in 94, ticket holder for 6 years. As I examine the seasons over 30 years, the coaches, the players, Jimmy versus Marino, Wani using up Ricky Williams, Jake Long on special teams, Bullygate, Philbin field cleaning, Coach Cocaine break, Ted Ginn, Mike Wallace, Sue, Brandon Marshall, Chad Johnson. How about all the missed draft picks? All the bad free agent signings? I would love to do a show just outlining all the suffering, why fans stay loyal. If you broke down every season for the past 30 years, you would be shocked at the mismanagement and the bad luck this team has had for 30 years. Damn, even the Jets went to back-to-back AFC championship games. If you ever want to do a show diving deep into all of that has gone wrong. And you just went 30 years. You didn't go deeper. You didn't talk about the early days against the Bills in the 90s where you're getting trashed. You didn't talk about when we finally get to the Super Bowl with Marino, we didn't even belong there with San Francisco. You didn't talk about the year after that you beat Chicago because, the sun shines on every dog's ass. And then when you have a chance to go, meet Chicago in the Super Bowl to prove that win wasn't a fluke, you choke like a fucking dog against the Patriots and you 4 fumbles that day, I think it is. What about after you get through, Shula does a terrific job of managing the regular season, getting through the strike season in 82. And when you finally get to the Super Bowl, you prove that you didn't even belong in the Super Bowl. Riggins is running all over you. You got Bo Camper getting the ball snatched away from Joe Theismann, a quarterback taking it away from a big old lineman. That's so Dolphins right there. That's so Dolphins right there. Yeah. You left out the 10 years before. It's really 40. When Brooklyn, but it's 30 for him. But, I can add another 10 years of misery, mismanagement, David Overstreet, you name it, Sammy Smith, Eric Kumaro. I mean, I can just go on and on and on and on and on. It's like, let's not forget, like, that's the thing that I laugh at people that think that this has just been going on now. See, Brooklyn Rob says 30, and I say 40. It's 40 years of mismanagement, stupid decisions, Robin Senline for Anthony Carter, all the stupid shit that went on under Shula in the second half of his run. He did a lot. He was a great coach, but he did so much stupid shit to set himself back. Because our line was Shula, the general manager, is hurting Shula, the head coach. Because we knew his general managing sucked. We knew he was a great coach, but he just could not manage the game, manage the sport anymore. And then when the cap came in towards the back end, that was really a killer for the old man. So it's 40 years of mismanagement, of bad decisions, of constantly screwing up. And this is our lives. So grievances is something, what am I going to do? So we got to move forward. We got no choice. We got no choice. If we just sit here and dwell on the past, it's a nightmare, dude. It's depressing. So I got to move forward. All right. Yeah, I'm not happy with McDaniel. All right, let's see what these guys do now. And I'm just going to judge them again, what they do from here on out. What am I going to do, dude? Didn't I want X traded after the 10 interceptions? Did I get that? No. I got a lot of grief from you guys. Now I don't get the grief anymore because I was right. So think about this. The team screws up. I get grief from the team screwing up and not trading him to get picks. But then I get double the grief from you guys. Because I'm the asshole that says, oh, you're such a dick, dude. X just had 10 interceptions. How do you want to trade him? Tyreek just had back-to-back 1,700-yard seasons. Why would you want to move on from him after this season? You know what I mean? So we all have frustrations. That's why I did the rant the other day, and I'm pretty sure, did you make a video of it that the Heat are going down the Dolphins road, Sean? Because the last 10 years of the Miami Heat are the last 10 years of Shula. So I really want the Heat to kind of like figure your shit out, dude. I've seen where you're going. You're going down the path of the Dolphins. Because that's Pat Riley the last 10 years. It's Shula losing it. Sorry, gotta say what I gotta say it. You know what I'm saying? I tell you all the time, it's not fun getting old. Your body breaks down. You can't do the things you used to do. All that kind of stuff. But the only thing that you do have that you gain is perspective and experience. And when you see something that you've seen before, it triggers because you have the experiences. And when I'm watching the last 10 years of the Heat, it's part of the 40 years of the Dolphins. I'm just telling you. Just telling you. And anybody that's lived the 40 years of the Dolphins, they lived the last 10 years of the Heat, they're going to go, oh, shit, he's right. Yeah, it's kind of like, the person leading your team has kind of lost touch. Yes, sir.
It was on December 23rd. It's titled, "The Miami Heat Are Turning Into the Miami Dolphins."
There you go. Thank you. December 23rd. So grievances are there, man. We have no choice. Got to move on. So let's just talk about what they're doing moving forward. And if we like what they do moving forward, and we'll talk about that. But grievances, man, there's 40 years of pain from this dude right here. 40 years. So there's your answer, Todd Victor. 2 first names. I like that. Brian Radke is in the house. NorCal. Oh, the wifey having a birthday today. All righty. Happy birthday. Nice. Way to go. Better make it special, NorCal. Got to make it special for Rusty. Steve Chapman is in the house. Ty in the Bronx. Kyle Cockrell loving the pump. Christopher Chavez. Steven Gonzalez. Who the hell is Big O to make fun of other teams? Our team is trash too. I make fun of everybody, including you if I want to, Christopher Chavez. Vincent Bruno. Alucard. Big O, did you see RG3 tweet about mobile QBs? This guy really loves slurping and loving mobile QBs. Well, when the mobile QB is really accurate and can make a living from the pocket, that's the mobile QB I want. Find me that guy, and then you got it's coming. Eventually, it's coming. These kids will eventually hone in and figure out their talents, and they'll be able to do it. I'm not worried about it. Eventually, you'll have more Steve Youngs. In other words, the guys that can run and then they can make a living in the pocket if they felt like it the entire game. That kind of stuff. It'll happen. It'll happen. It's not there yet, but we will evolve to that point eventually. Captain Saki in Tarpon Springs, Skylar Tipton, Mike Fox. Thank you, sir. Too nice of you, Mike Fox, but appreciate you. J-Town. Let's see. Ray Varnicus, going to see Ace Frehley in a few weeks. Ever seen him solo? I have never seen Ace Frehley solo. No, I didn't think about it. Nope, never have. Never have. Stephen Baker, there I was, tiptoeing in the tulips. Then I realized Big O singing memories like the corner of my mind. Tito, Finn's last playoff win was the year Jaden Daniels was born. That's right. Big O, that young Shula coaching Ramsey, getting some juice. Let me talk about this because so Chris Shula is doing a terrific job, okay, for the Rams. And I understand it's the Shula name, okay? Chris Shula might just be a defensive coordinator. Maybe he's a good one. Maybe he's a great one. Maybe he's an average one. He hasn't done it long enough yet to really find out. But so far, hell of a job. But do I know if Chris Shula is a head coach? Because I know Vic Fangio isn't. I know Richie Pettibone isn't. I know Norv Turner isn't. I mean, I could just go on and on and on and on and talk about Wade Phillips and talk about all kinds of coaches who are fantastic assistants, coordinators, and had no business being a head coach, Romeo Crennel. Romeo Crennel is a fantastic defensive coordinator. Do I want him as my head coach? Fuck no. So I have no idea if Chris Shula can be a head coach. Chris Shula might be David Shula. Again, perspective, experience. David Shula was no Don Shula. Mike Shula was no Don Shula. You understand? Mike Shula was a decent assistant. Never a head coach, not even for college. As proven in Alabama, that he can only go so far, and then Saban really took it. So I love what Chris Shula's doing. He's a young coach. Do I know he's a head coach? I have no idea. Zero clue. But it's all about the Shula blood. But remember, there's David Shula and Mike Shula that came directly from Don. And neither one was a godfather. There's only one godfather, and that's Don. No other one. There is one positive about Chris Shula, besides, of course, that he's doing a terrific job. But I'm talking about the fact that you all bring up the whole thing about Shula. You know what's the best part about Chris Shula? That he is so far removed from Don Shula that shadow doesn't linger over him. It'll linger a little bit from us old farts that love Don. But us old farts that have perspective will tell you, yeah, I saw Mike Shula and David Shula. David Shula couldn't even run a steakhouse, much less a fucking football team with the Bengals. So just because he's there, I wish the best for Chris Shula. I don't know what he's going to be. Tons of coordinators are never head coaches. He might be one of those. He might not be a guy that could be a head coach. He might not know how to build a staff and rebuild a staff and rebuild a staff, because that's what a head coach has to do. Build a staff, lose people, build a staff. Look what Dan Campbell's going to have to do. He's going to lose a couple of assistants this offseason. He's going to have to replace them, and then he's going to have to maintain. That's a new test for him. So there's a lot of things that I have no idea that Chris Shula is. And again, he could be David Shula or Mike Shula. So I get it, Dolphin Nation out there, especially for you old guys, because young people aren't thinking this because they're removed also from the whole Shula thing. This usually comes from people that are nostalgic a little bit, or they're old like I am. But this old guy is going to tell you, I've been through Mike and David Shula. So I'm not going to get pumped up about Chris Shula. I'm not going to tell you the Dolphins need to go out and hire Chris Shula, because the poor kid might end up becoming David Shula. So let me just stay here, wish for the best. In fact, maybe the best thing for Chris Shula is for him to grow up, and if he ever gets a head coaching job, never take it in Miami. Why? Because you've got that name and that burden, the best thing might be to get away from you overzealous fans that will be quick to build him up and incredibly quick to tear his ass down, like we did to David Shula and Mike Shula. Now let's continue to talk football. But it's not about the Shulas. It's about the Greers and the McDaniels and the Tuas of the world with David Furones and our Welton Rome Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rome Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session. Welton Rome has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. How you doing, baby? You doing good?
Doing well. Yeah. Well, a week into our postseason, our off season, coming off a Sunday where we celebrated Adam Beasley getting out of the sports writing industry. We were out on Fort Lauderdale Beach with him.
He's out.
Yeah. He was with Pro Football Network, and then and now he's moving on to selling steel. And apparently he's going to make a lot of money doing it.
Is he working for Nippon Steel?
I don't get the reference. Sorry.
You have no idea what it's all. It's all
but my guess would be no.
Yeah. So a whole other political story that's going behind it and all that. That's all right. Don't worry about it. It's all good in the hood. By the way, first of all, for Dolphineer, because sometimes I'll catch some stuff I can't see everything on the chat board, but he goes, only player we drafted, developed, and got value for was Tunsil. Every other we kept and wasted their career or lost in free agency. Well, Wilkins, what were you going to do? Keep him? That would be stupid. You got to let him go. Rob Hunt, you developed. You got to let him go. You developed them. You got to let him go. Now you'll get compensatory picks for them. But they did draft them and develop them. Minka, they developed. It wasn't the front office's fault that the head coach was an asshole and he couldn't get along with the guy. That's, but they drafted and developed them too. You know what I mean? So I love these people that are very short-sighted and, don't want to actually look at the big picture. You can't have it both ways. They did draft and develop the guard and the defensive tackle. Unfortunately, they had to make the brutal decision of letting them go because it wasn't smart to pay them that kind of money. What are you going to do? Shit happens, dude.
Christian Wilson.
Developed other.
To that point, what you got?
No, I'm saying they have drafted and developed other guys and lost them, unfortunately, for whatever reason. Sometimes an AVG, okay, that one is one that you can be very critical of overall. The only problem I have with the AVG one is if you draft AVG, you probably don't draft. If you keep AVG, you don't draft Chop.
Yeah, there is that. And my bad, I saw you pulling the curtain behind you. I thought you were going to show us something. So that's why I stopped. I was like, what you got? What?
I was trying to get my headphones so I can hear you a little bit better.
Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, Christian Wilkins, once it got to that point, then you had no other course of action. He was just going to command too much money on the free agency market, where they could have maybe gotten ahead of it one of those other years. And Chris Greer did tell everyone that he did offer Christian Wilkins an offer that they felt was fair at that point, but Wilkins bet on himself, and then he chose correctly because he was then bound to make much more on the open market, especially after
and they did the right thing because now you would have killed them that he got injured after.
Exactly. Oh yeah, it would be a huge talking point. Everyone would bury Chris Greer if they had signed him to that kind of money, and then he gets hurt first year into it. So it would be even worse than the blowback for the Tua contract. Well, I don't know, maybe it'd be up there because Tua missed 6 games. You did give him that extension, but or the guarantees to Tyreek Hill's contract when you and I were saying.
And haven't they drafted and developed and actually kept Austin Jackson?
Yeah. Austin Jackson's still there, right?
Yeah. I know. It's just fans, you want to, like the Dolphineer guy, you just want to say stuff and pull it out of your ass, and then you really don't really have the facts right, So just, just get the
but
facts.
They're coming down to it. I have to remember what the
actual... drafted, by the way, they drafted and developed and kept X.
For plenty of time. And he hasn't found another home since he left.
Well, I mean, would you really sign X at this point? I mean,
that's the thing, yeah. So I mean, you basically then took him his whole career.
Yeah,
you played out his career. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I'm pissed that you didn't get rid of him when you were supposed to. That part, I would have traded his ass right after the 10 interceptions. I would have gotten some value at that point, but people were just thinking that was going to happen every year. And that's the part that I always flip out on. got to learn to pull the scab off. That's one scab I wish they would have pulled off. They would have been able to get something in return. That moment right after.
All right. Yeah. Now I'm losing you. I was hearing it, but then I lost you at the end.
I said that that they would have gotten some real value after his interception year, and that's what
Yeah, but it's hard to part ways. It's always hard to part ways at that point. But you got to have the foresight. You got to pay for what you're about to get and project it, not just what you have already. Like the Jimmy Butler situation, you're not going to pay him for what he has previously accomplished. Same as Tyreek Hill. You have to project where he's going and not what he has already produced.
Right. I'm with you there. All right, so. What is your first priority if you're the Miami Dolphins in this offseason?
Yep, backup quarterback is of primary importance, but of course, you have some starting roster spots to make sure you settle. So I'm looking at the guards, I'm looking at the safeties because similar to the Christian Wilkins situation, I also see Javon Holland being a player the Dolphins drafted, and then they won't re-sign him this year. I kind of just see it as playing out the same. It's just being financially prudent, especially after the season that he just had, and not going that route. I know it hurts you, but because I know you're a big Holland guy.
I love Javon Holland, but I don't know what happened to him. Something happened to him because he's not himself, David. He's just not himself, dude. He's not the guy that had incredible range the first 2 years.
Yeah.
And he is off. He's taking bad angles. And sometimes I think when I see a player take bad angles, it's because he doesn't have a lot of confidence in his physical abilities at the moment, and he's trying to shortcut shit. And he's taking bad angles because athletically he can't move and get to places like he was able to his first 2 years. I don't know what it is. There's something going on.
Yeah, I think that's the key with the bad angles is that you were moving previously better, and then now you can't move that same way. So you take the angle that you were used to from when you were moving very well, and all of a sudden that's not good enough, and the guy's getting past you. So, but sometimes also the tackles that he had there for the taking, wrap up a guy and fails to do so. So we saw it at the safety position, both safeties this season, Jordan Poyer as well. So I would just see two new starters there, and Poyer, who knows if he even plays next season. He was already 33 this past year, so he could be the one moving on overall. And then Javon Holland looking for a big payday somewhere else, which someone will give him, even if they look at this past season, just on the projection that he can get back to that dog that he was those first 3 seasons. Yeah, basically all of those first 3 seasons. I know the end of his third year kind of tailed off a little bit, but you were still seeing right up until when he got hurt with both those knees, that same game at MetLife Stadium, returning that pick 6 Hail Mary, that was just something to behold. So
I don't know if he'll get the big money because it's safety.
It won't be huge money, but he'll get for the safety market. I think he will. Actually, I was just looking at an article Pro Football Focus had. It was like a month back, but it still had plenty of his play this season that left a lot to be desired. And they had him as the number 3 overall free agents in this class. So I saw that and I said, "Ooh," So. He'll command something, and so there will be a team that pays him something significant.
On the backup part, as I've said now, I think Garoppolo and Dobbs are going to be the targets because those guys are in similar systems. They signed 1-year deals. They are obviously up, and I think now with Tua's injuries, starting again because he stayed away for 1 year, I think those guys are going to look at it and say, oh, wait a minute, it's a pass-friendly system, and the guy that's there is going to get injured because that's what he does. So let me take a chance over here. I'm going to get a chance to play more. I think you're going to have a chance. If it's my choice, I'm going first with Garoppolo, believe it or not. I like Dobbs, but I don't think he is a consistent passer like Garoppolo can be. I worry about Garoppolo in big moments, of course, because that's kind of been the knock on him, that he has some Sam Darnold in him. And so, I do worry about that. But as for the system itself and running it and the footwork that you need and all that, I kind of feel that Garoppolo is my number one target if I'm the Miami Dolphins. Your thoughts on that?
I agree with you 100% for some time. I mean, last offseason too, I thought Garoppolo would be my number one target for that role. I don't know what the relationship was, him and Mike McDaniel in San Francisco, but they did work together and they worked well. And yeah, I mean, maybe you say big games. Okay, we saw the Super Bowl in Miami and how he had a chance to clinch it with that touchdown. Who did he have open deep? And then he ended up missing. Was it? No, not Debo. Back. I forgot who he had open deep.
Emmanuel, the guy from Denver.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, that's right. So he had him open in Super Bowl live. That would have been a Super Bowl clinching throw, and he just missed them wide open. But I mean, he's needed as a backup quarterback, and then your plan is to have Tua available for a playoff run if and when you get there. So you need a backup quarterback that if Tua, like this season, misses 4 games, has to go on a short IR stint, he can bridge that gap. And then if it's a tough part of the schedule, maybe he gets you 2 wins. Maybe it's 1-3 against 4 really tough teams. Maybe it's 3-1 against an easy part of the schedule, just so that it's not like you have a whole season go awry like you did this year, where the Dolphins were 2-4 in the games that Tua missed, and especially 1-3 against a soft part of the schedule when you should have been stacking up wins, and instead you were just plummeting down in the standings. And all of a sudden you're looking up and you're facing divisional elimination scenarios when you are going into Buffalo in early November or right before the Monday night game against the Rams, and you got to pull yourself up just to have a chance going into Week 18. So if you have just someone like that, who, by the way, all right, big games, this and that, but still, those 49ers teams, they made some runs as underdogs too, going on the road. 2021, I remember them beating Dallas. And then now, granted, they won in Green Bay, and that one was because they blocked a punt late, and it wasn't like anything Jimmy Garoppolo did. But in those conditions, hey, Aaron Rodgers on the other side, he wasn't putting up anything either. That 2019 team, yeah, I mean, they marched right on into the Super Bowl. So that was him managing scenarios, managing games that where he had a good roster around him, yes, and then and going ahead and advancing his team through the playoffs. Granted, then ultimately he would meet his demise, but still, you can have him get you through some tough patches where you don't have your starter, and then you don't need him to be that starter when he was the guy in San Francisco to go actually lead a team to the Super Bowl. He just needs to bridge a gap.
Yeah, I'm with you, and that's where I would say I have no problem with that. If you could bring in a Garoppolo, I think it would be the best possible backup that you can have, for Tua. That has to be their number one priority, because you have, and by the way, I think you got to go twofold. I think you not only sign a Garoppolo, I think you have to draft a guy somewhere in the middle rounds. I really do.
And then and then you're keeping 3. You're keeping 3, so that's a roster spot as well.
He's forced you to keep 3.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
He's forced
that youngster as the emergency third for every game. Hey, they did it all 2023 with Skylar Thompson. Of course, that was the year that Tua stays healthy. So then they kind of went back. Oh, well, why are we wasting a roster spot on a third guy? Let's go back to 2, and then this happens. So, right. But yeah. I mean,
and again, they haven't declared yet, so I don't know yet. But okay, you're not going to have a shot at Shador or Cam, obviously. No. Okay, but Jalen Milroe, the Alabama QB, if he comes out, Quinn Ewers, if he comes out. Kyle McCord, I think, is a perfect fit for the Miami system. He has the footwork. He is an accurate quarterback. He's a smart guy. He's got a good enough arm for the NFL. He doesn't have like a rocket, but he has he can make the throws you need, in the NFL. Carson Beck would have been an option, but he's going to Miami. And hope Hannah in the stands, because Hannah won't get drafted. The other one's going to get drafted. So
right. Yeah. She's
right. They're both seniors and they're gone, but at least Hannah will be in the stands because she's. And then there's the Jackson Dart kid. So there are some guys that you able to get in second, third round, because I think a guy like some. Rounds, something like that. So if I'm the Dolphins, I am going after Garoppolo, and I am certainly drafting a young guy. You know why I'm also doing this? I'm also going to send a message to Tua. Brother, we're prepared. If you want to fuck around, we're not going to have slapdicks anymore waiting behind you. No. We're going to have people that are going to be competent to run this system. And look out, buddy. If you get injured again and one of these guys gets hot, we might actually stay with the hot hand. So that's what I think you do. I think you can't bring any competition in because nobody's going to beat Tua out. But you've got to bring in somebody that at least, hey, man, Garoppolo gets hot. Why would you bench him? Just ride it out. Tua's going to fuck it up anyways because he's going to do something stupid and get himself injured. So if somehow or another he gets hot, or your Jackson Dart comes in, or Jalen Milroe comes in, or whatever, Kyle McCord comes in and starts playing well, and you start saying, sorry Tua, if this guy struggles, we'll get back to you. I think you need to put a little extra pressure around him, that he needs to, okay, I got to take care of myself because I could end up losing my job because I keep failing these people by not being available. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're saying fuck around and find out.
Right.
This message you're sending to.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so I do like that also because of this, because the Dolphins getting those extra compensatory picks now. You stack up in those middle rounds. They're expected to have 10 picks overall. So, yeah, I wouldn't like if they took a quarterback first round, second round. But once you get into the middle.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't mind second.
Second maybe.
I don't mind second. If the kid can play, quarterbacks are valuable, dude. And we have a quarterback that chooses not to protect himself. So, the entire fucking season went down because he chose not to protect himself. You're stuck, dude. You can't do it. You just can't keep doing this. So if there's somebody you love in the second round, if you think Kyle McCord is not going to last to the third, and you think he fits your system, and he has a chance to help you just in case Tua goes down, dude, you take him.
And hey, you know what? I think back to Tua's draft. The Eagles, they took Jalen Hurts in the second round when they had Carson Wentz in there, and he was he didn't win the MVP though, right? But he was like the MVP leader up to a certain point in 1 year before he tore his ACL. But yeah, so a move like that could happen.
Hey, what did Washington take in the fourth round the year they took RG3?
In the fourth round?
Yeah.
Was that Kirk Cousins or?
Amen.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Wow. Yeah. And then he was there like, you like that. And
the story there was Snyder fell in love with RG3. The mastermind, Shanahan, did not want RG3. Okay, that wasn't his kind of quarterback. He didn't like the athletic. Right. He liked more the drop back, pocket type passers. That's what Shanahan liked. So Shanahan was pissed. So the owner took RG3. So he loved Kirk Cousins. So he took Kirk Cousins in the fourth round. It's the same thing that happened in Dallas a couple decades back. Jimmy Johnson wasn't convinced with Troy Aikman. He didn't want Troy Aikman. But the personnel department, including, I always forget his name. I don't know why I do this. The old man that just passed away, Gil Brandt. Gil Brandt was pissed. He stood on the table and he was like, you have to take Troy Aikman. He's a generational, yada, yada. And almost the entire personnel department was behind Gil Brandt at that moment. And remember, Jimmy had just taken over, had just pushed Tom Landry out and all that. So he to his credit, he didn't believe in Troy, but he went with his personnel department, and then he drafted Steve Walsh in the compensatory draft. So this kind of stuff has happened in the history of time where there were disagreements on who to take. And then Jimmy Johnson, once Troy Aikman proved himself, he traded away Steve Walsh because he was, okay, I'm wrong. Let me trade away Steve Walsh to Chicago. Okay, Troy's the guy, and yada, 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 all that stuff. So teams in the history of time, if you have an issue with your quarterback, whatever it is, you're not convinced, injury prone in our case, whatever, you need to protect yourself. And the history tells you it's there. And it's paid off for many people, by the way. The Dolphins won a Super Bowl because of what? Because of Earl Morrall.
The quarterback, yeah.
So Earl Morrall was a former starter. Okay, he was, I believe he was like an all-pro and everything in his day when he was starting. So Shula picked up a guy that could easily start. So it's really important that you have that person there. And if you have to draft him, you just said it, dude. You have 10 picks. Do your job, bro. Find them in other rounds. But if there's a quarterback that can solve your problems, you already know you can't count on Tua.
Yeah. I think in real time, I'm opening myself up to maybe the second round as well. Maybe the second round as well from hearing all this. And I bet in the Dolphins front office and when it comes time to their war room on draft nights and all that, there will be different voices because it's not like there's no way just everyone in that building is unanimous one way or the other. So I bet there will be some clashing because it's just there's no way to just be entirely representative of one opinion or the other for the whole room. There's no way there's consensus. This is something that's got to split people one way or another on how early do we go for a quarterback that we need to protect ourselves with, or how much are we saying, no, we still trust Tua and that he's going to will do it for us.
Nobody can say that anymore, David. Nobody in the Dolphin organization can say they trust Tua. No fan can say that anymore. No teammate can say that anymore. He has proven over and over and over again he will continue to put himself at risk. You cannot depend on Tua Tagovailoa. This is coming from his number one believer as a passer. Okay? This is coming from his number. I still believe in him as a passer.
Absolutely.
But I do not have any belief in him as a professional. He does not understand what it means to protect yourself. What was it yesterday? Well, first of all, 2 days ago, Tom Brady goes when this guy Hurts had 6.7 seconds to hit that touchdown. You remember that scene? You saw that? Did you watch the game?
Yeah.
So the announcer goes to Tom Brady, hey, so you remember having 6.7 seconds? He goes, yeah, in 52 snaps. I had to get rid of I treated the ball like a hot potato. Tua doesn't do that. Last night, I forgot the announcer. Who's the announcer? Yeah, he also had another one of those comments talking about
Troy Aikman, right?
It was Troy Aikman. Right.
Yeah.
Troy Aikman goes, he was understanding how get rid of the football. He was talking about it, how you got to get rid of the football quickly. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, I hope Tua's watching this and maybe learning from these guys so he can stop doing stupid shit out there. You know what I mean? And put yourself at risk. He was talking about Stafford. He was talking about Stafford last night, how Stafford was wasting 0 time getting rid of the football. Why? He's old and can't move. And Tua's young and can't move. It's pretty simple, bro. Get rid of the football.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
Well, for the most part, that is something that Tua does do, is get rid of the football. When I asked him at the start of last season if he was concerned about the interior O-line, the guards, he said, brother, I get rid of the ball fast. The famous quote.
Not all the time.
Yeah, not all the time. Hey, he should have dumped it off to Jonnu Smith on one of the when he tried to scramble and dive forward and he took the hit to the hip. Obviously, that scramble against DeMar Hamlin, ramming his head into him, was completely unnecessary and not what you want to see your quarterback do. Well, this quarterback specifically doing for obvious reasons. So, if he can just stick with that, which he does most of the time, but then he just gets these little moments where that competitor comes out and says, "Nah, man, fuck that. You can go do this. You can go scramble there, and you can take him. You can take this big defender."
Right, and he has to learn that has to completely be erased from his computer.
Yeah,
he has to learn how to play the game one way. And the way Matt Stafford plays the game. He knows it's a pass rush. He knows Brian Flores is going to send the fucking house. I'm not holding on to the ball. That's what you got to do, bro. You need to be available for your team. There is an old man that is now playing in the second week of the playoffs. And Tua is a young buck, and he can't even get to the second week of the regular season. And why? Because one guy has his head screwed on right, and he's learned from all the years, and the other kid just is stubborn as hell, bro. And by the way, the same guy that told you, brother, I get rid of it, is the same guy that told you he would play to the death. Literally, he said, I will play to the death. That's not how you play the game, bro. Sorry, that's not how you play the game if you're the quarterback. So I think if you're the Dolphins, you must protect yourself in every way possible from Tua's irresponsibility.
Yeah, and hopefully he got the message this time, because Chris Greer did send as strong a message as we have heard from anyone within the Dolphins publicly with his last press conference, and basically sending it to Tua. He's speaking to Tua in getting that message out. This organization needs to have its quarterback available, and it's not this season. And he said in his season wrap-up conference. So hopefully this is the moment that gets through to his head, and he has all these months to sulk about it, think about it, as he watches other teams in the playoffs, and he's not competing in it, because for the most part, that's the primary reason.
Okay, one more thing before I let you go. Obviously, the Crossman thing is, whatever, bro. That's 3 years late already, firing his sorry ass. Okay, that's great. The Wes Welker one. Okay, I want to get your thoughts on this. I'm going to give you mine real quick here on this. But the Welker one, first of all, there is zero proof that he's a good receivers coach. Whether guys are running wrong routes, whether they're new receivers or your top receivers, guys drop passes, new receivers, established receivers, okay? There's a lot of undisciplined nature within the wide receiving core. So Wes Welker, really, I can't say, if I look fundamentally at the players, I can't say he's a great coach, to be quite honest. Because whether you're Robbie Chosen and you're running the wrong route, or you're Tyreek Hill and you're running the wrong route, well, then do I blame it on Robbie Chosen, or do I blame it on Tyreek, or do I blame it on both, or do I blame it on the coach? You know what I mean? So I'm not sure. Waddle, he continues to drop passes that doesn't ever get any better. You know what I'm saying? So I'm watching mistakes all over the place. So there really is zero proof. Outside of that, we love Wes Welker. He's a former Dolphin, all that other bullshit that comes with it. But when it comes to the facts are, I don't see fundamentally a really good group when it comes to the wide receivers. So you fire him. Okay. I don't know if it was all about that, but I do know this. I get a feeling they wanted to hire a fresh face because since Mike McDaniel can't be a dick, because that's not in him, he's not going to be the tough coach. Maybe you go hire a fresh face that can come in and be a complete dick. Oh, I don't know you guys. This is how I coach. And so now you bring somebody in that can drop the hammer for you, and you don't have to do it. And I'm not saying that Welker didn't do it or was doing it or whatever. I'm just saying this is a ploy for them to go get someone else that can drop the hammer on that receiving core. Your thoughts on that?
I think that would absolutely be part of it. I remember thinking back to I was talking to an assistant coach that was on the Dolphin staff back combine time when it was Mike McDaniel going into his first year. And I asked this assistant when I was just chatting with him at the combine, what do you think of Mike's ability to lay down the law when he has to? Does he have that in him? And then this coach said, well, he doesn't have to do that. That's our job. That's our job to go do that. So that's kind of like, I think what now Mike and the rest of the staff will want out of this position is, hey, this has become a position group that's become a little problematic now. You have Tyreek Hill lashing out. He's quitting on his team. Fair to say, Wes Welker, for whatever the great player that he is, maybe he did have some fine points to his coaching. He didn't have his room under control when you see that happening. And it's a tough challenge when you have Tyreek Hill. That personality, his ego, and then you have a Jalen Waddle who's now getting paid on a contract extension, and he's probably looking around saying, why does Tyreek Hill get preferential treatment? Probably even Odell Beckham for the short stint because of his superstar name that he had before, and maybe saying, hey, I'm producing way more than him. How come you treat Odell a certain way and not me this way? So, yeah, I could totally see that. And you mentioned the wrong route running. Chase Claypool, even when Tua was throwing to him at the end of that Buffalo game, and you said Robbie Chosen, and Grant Dubose when he's in there in this past year's playoff or week 2 game against the Bills. So some consistencies there over new faces that come in and then having these same problems arise. So I certainly get it. I never thought, oh, he might be the guy, but now that it's happened, it sort of starts to make sense, especially when you consider how much turmoil there has been within that group, of course, which, hey, wide receivers, they're known as personalities that you have to
dude, we can all like Wes Welker.
Yes.
But when we look at that wide receiving group, that's not a well-coached group, bro. It's just not.
Yeah, right. And this should have been a tandem that's probably tops in the NFL. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. You put them together, these years it should have been, all right, that's the number one duo, wide receiver duo in the NFL. And then this year, boy, that fell flat on its face. Neither one of them having a 1,000-yard season. 100-yard games were rare to come by for both of them. So very disappointing season for the most talent-rich unit when you think of the top two. And then even you added Odell Beckham, and then that didn't work out. And you have a talented, mature rookie in Malik Washington that you can develop. Yeah, then I could see why it was time to go a different route.
We used to have a receivers coach here. His name was Jerry Sullivan, and he's 80 now. And what is he? He's a consultant for who is it now? Sean, you told me yesterday. I forgot. Oh, the Browns. Did you say C? Cincinnati?
LSU
in college. He's at LSU. I think his son is there also. Anyway, so they need a guy like that. Jerry Sullivan was a hard ass, like a son of a bitch, like a great, like super cool, but he coached your ass up. Like if you had one step that was out of place, he rode your ass to make sure you made the cut properly. It was just one of those things. He was just a detailed type of wide receivers coach. And usually his receiving cores were pretty damn good and well coached overall wherever he was at. And he coached on different teams throughout. You need to find yourself a Jerry Sullivan type. And if you could get a Jerry Sullivan type, that's one of those dudes that's going to command respect, but at the same time demand like a mother off of you to be perfect out there. And I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to bring some dude in that's going to bust some balls.
Yeah. Now, and here's what I want to see. Do they go that route and find someone who will be a hard ass on personality like Tyreek Hill, or do they appease him again by trying to find someone that he'll just like? That's the big question that we'll find out once we see who it is.
Well, I hope they learn their lesson because, I've talked to several of them in the building, and I already warned them not to guarantee his money. Now that they guaranteed the money and they fucked up, I hope they now say, yeah, no, we can't keep going this way. We only have 1 year left with this asshole. Let's make sure we coach it up the way we need it, and then we could get rid of him from here on out. So you might as well not let him have his way anyway. You should have actually kept him on a leash this past season, and not give him the guarantees. You might have gotten a better season out of him with him not knowing what was coming at the end of this season. You might have better. So I think you already screwed up. You gave him the money. You need to go crack the whip now, whether you like it or. By the way, Waddle is headed into the same direction as Tyreek. So you better fix that now because he's young. This is it reminds me a lot of the Heat. I don't want Jimmy Butler around because I don't want his influence on the young guys that you have in the locker room, because then they're going to think that that's the way they should carry themselves, and they shouldn't. So for me, I think it's very important that you separate church and state here when it comes to stuff like that. You better teach them how to actually get it done the right way. That's a problem.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I'd like to see who they end up hiring and what kind of a reputation, that person has. Because, by the way, if you're McDaniel, you're on the hot seat too, dude. So you better find a way to get some shit done this year, okay? Because what you've been doing for the first 3 years is not working. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean this is what. He's got to make sure he gets this hire to then take control of that room. And then that's one problem that hopefully you get out of your way. And then beyond that, yes, he's got to feel the pressure. Chris Greer's got to feel the pressure. I think both of them going into this year. And there needs to be signs that this is going into the right direction. To me, it's getting back into a playoff win. That I don't think that was the goal before this. So I don't think just because you took a step back, you say, okay, well, now let's recalibrate and say, if they just get back into the playoffs. No, you need to get back to the goal is let's get into the divisional round. Get into those Final Four in the AFC. The Dolphins should be playing on this weekend that we're going to watch coming up here. So that's where I see things need to go next year.
I'm with you there. Welton Rome, by the way, proud sponsors of this program. Make sure you need lawyers that you can count on. And with some of the new laws, especially when it comes to property and insurance and all that, it favors the insurance companies. It doesn't favor us. The only way it favors us is if you hire the right lawyers. Call Welton Rome, 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, personal injury, homeowner property damage, commercial litigation, condo damage, business owner claims, criminal defense. Call them, 954-966-4646. Furones, what do you got going on in the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Yeah, today I'm breaking down the Javon Holland free agency, so I'll be writing on that, what he said when he wrapped up the season, Dolphins' perspective on it, and I'll roll out some other interviews from Locker Cleanout, some different players going into key off seasons, and I got to listen to all those, figure out which ones I want to roll out this week.
All right, there you go, and follow him on Twitter, David Furones _. Good stuff, my man. We'll catch up on Friday. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
You got it. There you go. The great David Furones and our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Right. What do we got going on here? All right. Yes, sir. Just checking out the market a little bit there. Don't forget, folks, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, which we always appreciate that. And use the QR codes. You can also make a donation through PayPal. Always appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Frankie Fresco, a little love on the super chat. He says, what does Sean think of Penta debut in WWE? Good. What do you got about Penta?
That is amazing of you to ask, Frankie Fresco. And you can get my opinion tonight, 7 p.m., Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel, The Squared Circle Digest, with Sean Stanley and Frankie Fresco.
There you go. So they'll talk about it tonight. There you go. Why give it away now? Just a tease. Tonight they'll talk about it.
I feel like you. Give it away, give it away, give it
away now. That's right. That's right. Penta debut. All right. I used to go to Nepentha's when I was really young, looking for the youngins. When we was like in our teens, a little Nepentha's. I remember that. Anybody remember Nepentha's? Anyway, what else do we have? Brooklyn Rob. I almost forgot we got bad Bosa. Yeah. And let me tell you, Bosa, John Bosa was a monster. And it was the injuries that stopped him from being like a player. Like everybody that played with him and practiced with him, like they saw it. It's just, as fans, we never really got to see him put it together. And it was a shame because obviously you see his kids and they're super talented. And they've had their share of injuries too, by the way. They have an injury history. The Bosas, like if you sign them like they have, you know, with the Chargers and the Niners, they're going to miss games. They're going to miss games, but they are great players. And their dad was going to be a monster for us, but we have no luck. That's just kind of the way. That's just kind of the way it is to be a Dolphin fan, man. Have no luck, pretty much. So, what are you going to do? It is what it is. One of the best offenses on paper and can't do jack with it. I mean, until you shore up that line and the running game and you actually commit to the running game, yeah, you're not going to be able to do it. It doesn't matter what it is. And it doesn't matter if you're Marino, and it doesn't matter what quarterback you have, what team or anything. If you don't dedicate yourself to the line and the running game, you're never going to win. So I watched it with Marino, and I'll watch it with Tua. And then on top of that, Tua does stupid shit to get himself injured. That just doesn't help either. It's just really frustrating, you know? Just really frustrating. So it is what it is. Let me get to the 3A Graphics sports calendar, please. The great Alan Blanco. Does your company need custom printing and embroidery? Well, reach out to my guy, Alan Blanco. Rams last night defeated the Vikings 27-9. Sam Darnold became Sam Darnold, and Matt Stafford moved on with 2 touchdowns. Flyers defeated the Panthers last night on the ice 4-3. Reinhardt with 2 goals in the loss. Bob had 25 saves. Tonight they're in Jersey to take on the Devils. They'll drop the puck at 7:30. On the hardwood, the Heat, 15 turnovers last night. Ugly basketball. Didn't shoot well. Shot 38% from the field, 32% from three-point range. It wasn't a good night. No Bam, but that's kind of the experience. They lose to the Clippers 109-98. Tomorrow they take on the Lakers at 10 o'clock. Tonight, University of Miami men's basketball team will take on number 3 Duke. Duke is 14-2. Miami is 4-12. 9 p.m. tip-off on ESPN. It will be a massacre. Wednesday, FAU taking on Tulane at 7:30. And then also at 7:30, Rick Case Arena on Wednesday. It is Nova Southeastern taking on number 15, Florida Southern College. NSU is 14-1. Florida Southern College is 15-2. Should be a hell of a matchup. Nova beat St. Leo's over the weekend 104-60. That is your 3A graphics sports calendar. All right. No Manny Navarro today, by the way. Tomorrow we'll get Manny. He was a little bit under the weather. Let's see. Tua can just be normally tackled and go into concussion like his last one. He's not the guy. Never was, my brother. He's an awesome person, and that's what made people root for him, but not the guy. No, I know. You can't be the guy if you lead the league in completion percentage and you're in the MVP race. I know Clyde Hyde. All of our quarterbacks since Marino, they're in the MVP race. Yeah. No, of course. All the quarterbacks we've had since Marino, they put up stats like Tua. You know? Yeah. No, he's not the guy. Just move on because, you can find another guy so easily. I love how you people just casually say incredibly fucking stupid shit. You know that? Clyde Hyde? It's really amazing how you people just gloss over and just say stupid shit. His injury history, I get it. But the kid can play. If it's injury history, you can talk all you want. But to think that the next guy is going to do half of what he's done, I mean, what's his starting record? Because I don't think the Dolphins, I think the Dolphins are like just above 500, right? They're like a 9-win team, an 8-win team, maybe a 10-win team. Like that's their average, right? They're barely better good than bad, right? So let me see what his record is overall. His win-loss record. What is it?
I got him as 38-24 as a starter.
38-24. Yeah, no, that's of course, because all quarterbacks for the Dolphins since Marino are 38-24 when they start. Yeah. It's just some of you out there, for whatever reason, bro, you don't like the guy. Okay, whatever. But to make it sound like, hey, no, we'll get another guy and he'll go do that. No, they won't, bro. None of them will. Because none of them can do this. None of them can pass like this kid. His problem is that he wants to be stupid. That's all. That's his problem. It's not, you don't complete 72.9% of your passes. This guy, it's 64.1, 67.8, 64.8, 69.3, and 72.9. He has a 68.1 career completion percentage. That is not done by accident. It's just like, just really some of you out there, you're so dismissive of it, and you don't see the history since Marino. We have nobody that even comes close to this guy. No one comes close to this guy. But no, man, we'll just get rid of him and just, that's it. We'll find another. We always find another guy. We're the Green Bay Packers.
Stupid chat. Run for cover. Grab the earmuffs. Hide the children. Our IQ is being sucked into a wormhole. Save your brain cells. Stupid chat.
Yep. Anyway. Too many fans think roster moves can be made like they're playing Madden. Yeah, that's what you get from idiots like Clyde Hyde that don't know what the hell they're talking about. It's just stupid shit, bro. Really. Really, really fucking stupid shit. Anyway, what else do we have going on? By the way, Deion Sanders. This is a funny story. There is no shot that Deion Sanders becomes the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. Okay? Zero chance that he becomes the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. At all. Why would he? Why would he want to become the coach of the Cowboys? It would make zero sense. It would put him in a position that he's never been in as a coach. See, if you're going to be a coach for the Cowboys, you need to be a yes man. You need to be a puppet. Let me use an even more insulting term. You need to be a slave. Because that's how Jerry treats you. Remember when there was all that kneeling going on, in the pregame, that they would kneel during the national anthem, and Jerry didn't want any of that. So he got all the players together, armed together, and they all did the quick kneel and got back up again. Because, that's how the plantation owner wanted to do it. Because that's Jerry Jones. That's who he is. Okay? And Deion Sanders is his own man. I think Deion Sanders entertained Jerry because he likes Jerry, because he played for Jerry. I don't think Deion Sanders would ever work for Jerry. I think what he did there was just, a little reminder to Colorado. I'm wanted. He's not going anywhere. And he has some fun. Yeah, if I could coach my two sons, which he knows it's impossible to do that too, because no team's going to be able to draft both your sons and then hire you at the same time. But it's a nice thing to do. It's nice to throw that out there so that way the Colorado sees it, and when contract negotiations roll around, they throw in a little extra juice for Coach Sanders, and that's it. But, I mean, it's just kind of funny to see this whole thing. And let me get the quote from Sanders overall, because remember he said he had his kickstand. He says, "To hear from Jerry is truly delightful and it's intriguing. I love Jerry and believe in Jerry. After you hang up and process it and think about it, it's intriguing, but I love Boulder and everything there is about our team, the coaches, our student body, and the community." There's an $8 million buyout too on top of all of that. And why would Deion Sanders want to go be Jerry's puppet? Deion Sanders is not anybody's puppet. But it's great fodder. It's great writing for Cowboy writers, NFL writers, TV, radio shows all over. They can talk about all this bullshit. None of it's going to happen. Plus, I don't believe Deion likes the pros. I think Deion feels it's more important for him to be around young men and give them a chance. Because, see, Deion's the guy that's been misunderstood forever. Still to this day, people don't get Deion. Because all the brash and all the bravado and all the colorfulness that comes from everything that he does, it kind of turns some people off, and they don't take the time to actually see through the stuff, to actually see there's a crap ton of substance behind it. And I think he knows he has to be there to help young men possibly grow up to be better human beings besides football players, because he's always been a damn good human being besides a great football player and coach now. But I find it, entertaining. It's fun. It creates fodder. It puts his name out there. It shows recruits that, hey, man, even the NFL wants him. You know, all of this creates value for the Colorado Buffaloes in a way. So great job by Deion, because there's no way he would work ever for a Jerry Jones. You have to be a person with very little scruples to work for Jerry Jones, because he's going to take away all your shine. He's going to undercut you. He's going to take your legs from under you. You are going to be powerless. That's not useful for Deion Sanders. You know what I mean? So it's a fun story, but I see no shot in it happening whatsoever. But hey, yeah. The plantation owner will find another sucker to be his puppet. That's kind of what it is. What are you going to do? Anyway. What else do we have? It's Jay Fiedler had a 40-28 record. Yeah, but that's not Jay Fiedler. You know what I'm saying? That's the defense and the running game. Wasn't Jay Fiedler winning games, bro? That's a huge difference. Did you watch it, Eddie? Again, Eddie, do you just want to say stupid shit to just say stupid shit? Was Fiedler ever in any kind of MVP race? Was he leading the NFL in touchdowns? Was he leading completion percentage? I'm wondering. Air yards, like he was a couple of years ago, number one, all that. Number one in completion percentage and bombs. Did Fiedler do any of that? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Again, some of you just want to say stupid shit to just say stupid shit. You know, that record was all on defense. That was the problem with that team, Eddie, is that it had no offense. You know, the difference on this team is that the defense is not good enough, and their offense used to be pretty damn good. That was the problem. They used to score points. They just like Marino, used to score points, but defense would allow it. So you win because you have Tua. You notice, Eddie, when Tua's out, do you win games? Again, Eddie H. and who's the other idiot? What was the other idiot's name? Clyde Hyde. There we go. Eddie H. and Clyde Hyde. Dos come mierdas. Dos idiotas. Two fucking morons. Let's do it in both languages. Going to compare Jay Fiedler to Tua Tagovailoa. A quarterback that was carried completely by a defense. Come on, man. Jay Fiedler is what you call at best, a game manager. On his best day, he was a game manager. And if they led in anything, it might have been in rushing. It wasn't anything in passing. Oh, man. So what the fuck were you thinking? Yes. Tua's completion rate, if these dumb receivers actually oh my God, yes. Can you imagine if Waddle and Chosen and Tyreek all caught the footballs? Yeah, it might be 80%. So it's a beautiful thing. You gotta love it. Anyway. What else do we have going on? Let's get to a little music, history here, and news. What do we have here? All right, start off with musicians born on this date. All right. Caleb Followill, lead singer, rhythm guitars for Kings of Leon, born in the state in 1982. Dave Grohl, love Dave Grohl, singer, songwriter, record producer, obviously Nirvana and Foo Fighters, his band, born in the state in 69. LL Cool J, damn, pretty cool. Born in this state in 1968. No rapper can rap quite like I can. I'll take a muscle-bound man and put his face in the sand. In 1967 on this date, the great Zakk Wylde was born. Guitars for Ozzy Osbourne, Black Label Society, and by the way, maybe one of the best entertainers in metal right now. Okay? He's one of the best guitarists, there's no doubt, but he is one of the best entertainers you can see live, Zakk Wylde. He'll come out to the fans in the stands. He'll walk around stadiums and arenas playing his guitar and jamming solos. He is one of the coolest performers out there. And if you ever get a chance to do a meet and greet with Zakk, it's not a bullshit meet and greet where he just stands and takes. He will talk with you and have a conversation. He is a super cool guy. So mad props to Zakk Wylde. The way he carries himself, the way he plays, and how he plays for fans. Zakk Wylde is top-notch in every way possible. All right? There you go. Just got to give people props when they deserve it, man. What else do we have here? Tim Harris, drummer from the British soul band The Foundations, born in the state in 1948. And who else? Well, that's it, man. Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, that's it for it's too deep, the other ones that are there for musicians. So let's go now with birthdays. Celebrating birthdays today on January 14th. Let's see. Jason Bateman, actor, is 56. Declan Rice, soccer player, is 26. Oh, I see a wrestler. Carl Weathers, the late great one, born in 48 on this day. We lost him in 24. Just lost him, man. Slick Rick. Well, I wasn't on that list. Slick Rick, you know it. He is 60 years old today. Holland Taylor, TV actress. She is 82. Emily Watson, movie actress, 58. And that is it. Sean Stanley. Do you have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, we do. Quite a notable list today, actually. Cora Jade, she turns 24 today. Ernest the Cat Miller is 61. Gene Snitsky, known for punting the baby doll out of the ring and into the crowd, is 55 today. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, is 71. And Katana Chance is 35. Masanobu Fuchi is 71. And the current reigning and defending MLW heavyweight champion, Matt Riddle, turns 39 today. And on a personal note, happy birthday to my sister. And those are your birthdays for January 14th, 2025.
There you go. Happy birthday to everybody. Thank you, Gus, for sending me this on Twitter. It says, Matt LaFleur says, Packers QB coach Tom Clements is retiring. Man, it's been such a cool ride with him the past few years. Tom Clements is the guy that, even though they say he's not the greatest people person, like he's great with his players and the quarterbacks that he coaches and develops, and he's been the guy. He's been developing quarterbacks there. He's been there since, I think, Favre on. So I think the back end of Favre till now, he's been there. He's been there forever. And when they hired Philbin, I knew several people in that building, and all of them said, I would have rather gone with Tom Clements. He's the guy that develops our quarterbacks. So it's funny. The guy that has developed quarterbacks in Green Bay for a long, long time is gone. Tom Clements, retiring. Interesting. Thank you, Gus. That was a nice nugget you sent me there. By the way, Brandon Flood sent me an open done by AI. I had no idea that you can do this. But by the way, do we get tagged for stuff like that it's made by AI, Sean?
I'm going to say no until we get tagged here in a little bit. But right now I'm going to say no.
So Brandon Flood, who I don't know if Brandon is watching the show right now, he's a mad supporter of our platform. Love him. He's fantastic. So I have no idea. Did you have any idea you can do this kind of shit, Sean? Because I had no idea. He must have fed them a bunch of information. And then
you got to feed them so much to get what he got, because I saw the length of it. Like you have to feed over and over, and then you tweak it as something misses. You have to. That's why, like, I've been trying to get into the AI thing, but the only thing is, it is so detailed to detailed. Because if you follow different things, the AI follows the one thing that you keep asking over and over and over to try to come up with better responses for you. But if you follow a number of things, it gets more difficult.
So Flood must have put in a bunch of information, and so the AI thing just made like a theme song. Let me see. Can I play? Okay, here we go.
It's time to go. Welcome to the big old radio show, Miami Sports. We got it all. From the Dolphins runs to the Panthers calls. Talking about the Canes of Heat in Miami FC. In the heart of Florida, it's where we want to be. Big O's bringing the latest news on YouTube Live. It's the show to choose. Big O Radio Show. It's where we get the scoop. Dolphins, Canes, Heat, Panthers, and it's true. Live on YouTube, bringing it straight to you. The Big O Radio Show, always something new. From touchdowns to slam dunks in the Heat's domain, Big O's got the insights, breaking down the game. Ice on fire with the Panthers glide, and on the pitch into Miami's pride. With every story we play, Big O's.
I mean, it's just it's amazing, dude. Like, it's amazing that it has all that information. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm thinking Brandon knows AI, his way around AI. That is phenomenal.
Not only does he know around AI, he knows this freaking show. I mean, like, all the information he put into it so he could come up with it. Clearly knows this show. It looks like he I think he made another one. I haven't heard this one. I think he made a second one. Yeah, I think he made a second one.
Miami Sports, we got it all. From the Dolphins runs to the Panthers calls. Talking about the Canes, the Heat, enter Miami FC. In the heart of Florida, it's where we want to be. Big O's bringing the latest news.
I like this one better.
The show to choose, the Big O and we get the scoop. Dolphins, Canes, Heat, Panthers, and Inters too. Going live on YouTube. I'm bringing it straight to you. The Big O Radio Show, always something new.
Yeah, it sounds like you changed the beat on that one a little bit harder.
I like it. I like that one, Brandon. I like that second one. Nice job. I had no idea that you can do this kind of shit with AI. It's freaking amazing, dude. Now that is good shit. So, anyway, there you go. That's pretty cool. I like that. Damn. Corso Traven says, I just sneezed on my toast, and I can't believe it's snot butter. I like that. Yes. What's that? You sneezed on it, and you can't believe it's not butter. God, what's the name of that stuff that when you go to an Italian place, they have that green stuff. God, what's that called?
Isn't that the pesto?
That's it. Pesto. That's it. Your natural pesto was on the toast. Yes. Natural pesto, which is, pretty disgusting thought right now that I just gave you guys. Anyway. Jay Gelfin says it's 241 Tuesday, and there are twice as many viewers as there are likes. That's right, baby. Smash it. Smash the hell out of the like button. Okay? Anyway. Can he do an AI song of Chris Greer needs to get fired? Well, I'd rather him focus on the show and, we're trying to nail down I'm trying to get my open back up, together again. I've been trying to do it for a long time, man. It's hard, dude. It's hard to find somebody to redo the song. And I already rewrote the lyrics and everything, actually. So the lyrics are done. I just need I need like a rocker voice to sing it. They've got the music now. Now he's trying to find a badass rocker voice, because that's what I need. Let's see what else. Wait until you got down the AI rabbit hole. You're into crypto. Yeah, I haven't done anything. I don't do anything with AI. I know nothing about AI. I don't work it at all. So have zero clue about AI. Either the Dolphins are stuck or are on smart or stuck on stupid. Easy call. The Dolphins should have franchise tagged Tua for 2025. Would have only cost them $43. That's how it goes. But they signed him. To say Miami didn't belong with the Skins in '83 or full of crap. We were leading that game going into the fourth quarter, and then got all run over and started doing all kinds of Dolphin things. Come on, man. What was Riggins' stats in the Super Bowl? There we go. Miami Dolphins and Washington. What did Riggins do to us that day? Because it was painful. God, it was painful. David Woodley was 4 of 14 for 97 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Where is my pain? My real pain from that game. Where's my real pain? Here it is, Riggins. 38 rushes, 166 yards. Hell, Alvin Garrett had one rush for 44. 166 yards, bro. He pounded the shit out of us, dude. It was terrible. It was just, whatever. They scored. The Redskins scored 17 points in the half. Second half, we scored none. Okay? None. Typical Dolphins. 17 points in the first half, Nothing in the second half. They scored the 17 points in the second half, and they won 27-17. What close, bro? We didn't even show up in the second half. I watched the game. It was painful. Thank you for making me relive that shit again. Okay? We didn't belong there. That was all part of from 82 to like 95. The NFC completely dominated. There was like one championship or two won by the AFC, dude. So it's ridiculous. Maybe two during that stretch. It was terrible. We suck. It was an embarrassment. John Riggins just ran all over our sorry asses. We had a broken down killer bees by that time already. That's all. Let's see. Ernest Rohn was the only guy that tore it up along with Baumhauer. Oh, Larry Gordon, Brzezinski also had 7 tackles each at least. God. Remind me of that stinking game. That hurt. 166 yards is just... I don't think I slept for weeks just thinking about John Riggins running us over. They were 12-1, the Redskins. 12-1. They were the better team. They were the better coach at that moment. You know, bottom line, better franchise, better team, better coach, better quarterback. They had everything. Better running game. And Riggins was 34. Wow, he was 34. He was towards the end of his career. I remember that. But I didn't realize he was already 34 at that point, which makes it even worse for us. We had an old man running all over the Dolphins. Do you know how pathetic we are? That's pathetic. That's sad. He was 34 and running all over the Dolphins. It's just we've been an embarrassment for 40 years, dude. Every big moment, we just crap all over ourselves. It's always been like that. Yeah. It's a sad part, but it's our reality, unfortunately. All right, folks. Appreciate all of you out there. As always, thank you. If you tuned in, hit the like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sent in a super chat. Thank you, thank you. If you send in a Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo, appreciate you as always. We thank David Furones. Tomorrow, Manny Navarro will join us. He was a little bit under the weather, so hopefully he'll feel better, and we'll have him tomorrow. We will see you all tomorrow. Thanks to Sean Stanley. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.
This is the Big O Show. This is the